Nunes. Also tonight, the important questions are being asked. We should have answers very soon. And also tonight, Trump-Russia collusion crusader Adam Schiff, he's admitting, we have the tape, he has seen no evidence that this collusion exists. Former Clinton independent counsel, even Ken Starr, he's saying Robert Mueller is way beyond his mandate. So is this even more proof that the investigation has been and continues to be a witch hunt? And also breaking right now, Vladimir Putin, he's unveiling nuclear weapons that he claims can avoid detection. We're going to explain tonight why the liberal media, Democrats, Obama, Hillary Clinton are all to blame. And the liberal mayor of Oakland, California, under fire for aiding and abetting criminal illegal immigrants. He's actually warning them about federal ICE raids. Is the mayor putting law enforcement and American lives in danger? The short answer, yes. Also, Fox News reporting that the commanding officer during the Florida school shooting ordered some deputies on the scene not to enter the school. This answers a ton of questions. A lot of breaking news. We get started in our breaking news opening monologue. All right. These are massive and huge breaking developments tonight about what is severe Obama-era FISA abuses. This letter, just released tonight to the Attorney General Jeff Sessions, the House Intel Committee Chair Devin Nunes, is detailing how the FBI may have literally broken the law and violated Bureau protocols when obtaining that FISA warrant to surveil Trump campaign associate Carter Page. Now, in this letter released tonight, Nunes points out specific DOJ guidelines when it comes to FISA surveillance. He writes, quote, under the subsection FISA verification and accuracy procedures, the FBI itself acknowledges this importance. Quote, the accuracy of information contained within FISA applications is of the utmost importance. Only documented and verified information may be used to support FBI applications, FISA warrants to the court. Given this new information, Chairman Nunes, he is now demanding the DOJ explain if, in fact, these protocols are still in place. We already know the answer. They never verified this. And if they are, the chairman wants to know how officials will be punished for violating this law, lying to a FISA judge, and not following protocol. This letter also points out how using this false information in a FISA court could violate several laws. Look at them on the screen. 18 U.S.C. 242, using color of law to conduct a targeted investigation based on the pretext of law enforcement. Then you have 50 U.S.C. 1809, surveillance conducted under color of law in a manner not authorized by a FISA conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and contempt of court. What this means is the scandal is getting bigger and bigger, unlike an abuse of power we have ever seen in the history of this country. That's why we are unpeeling layer after layer of this onion. Now, Greg Jarrett, Sarah Carter, Jason Chaffetz, the great one, Mark Levin, will all have reaction to this tonight. And also breaking, we have more evidence. The Democrats' Trump-Russia collusion narrative for 20 months is a complete farce. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, you know, the ranking member of the House Intel Committee, longtime professional Trump hater, he's now admitting that the scary, damning, earth-shattering information that he has now been playing up for more than a year is already in the public domain. Really? Where is it? Watch this.
You said you had more than circumstantial evidence of treasonous collusion with Russia. What specifically were you referring to? And please be specific, because if it's true, I do believe Americans have the right to know a year later what that is.
Well, I've certainly said that there's ample evidence of collusion. I've never used the word treason. Only Steve Bannon has used that word. But if you look at the facts.
Because if it's true, I do believe Americans have the right to know a year later what that is.
Well, I've certainly said that there's ample evidence of collusion. I've never used the word treason. Only Steve Bannon has used that word. But if you look at the facts that are already in the public domain, they're pretty damning.
Is it enough for Mueller to bring charges? Because if it isn't enough for Mueller to bring charges, what does that mean?
Well, what it means,
charges of collusion.
This is a very important question, and that is, what's Mueller's job and what's our job? Bob Mueller will make the decision whether there is proof beyond a reasonable doubt to indict and convict people. It is not his responsibility to tell the country what happened.
Amazing job, Meghan McCain. Let me give you the translation. Adam Schiff is accusing Trump of collusion with little more than speculation, rumor, and a phony Russian dossier that was never corroborated or verified. Do you see how severe this is? Now, we may well find out in coming weeks or months that Schiff's constant anti-Trump five-alarm fires has been nothing more than political hyperbole meant to damage a sitting president that you voted for so he could win favor with his liberal base and get hired by conspiracy TV MSNBC. And it's probably why, according to the RNC, Schiff has appeared on television 227 times since President Trump's inauguration. So it's only a matter of time where NBC hires him. Maybe he'll take over from Matt Lauer, who's been out for a while. Also brand new tonight, Robert Mueller now facing criticism from someone who has intimate knowledge of special counsel investigations. Kenneth Starr, you might remember, independent counsel responsible for investigating Bill Clinton in the 90s. He is saying that Mueller, something we've been saying, might be crossing a line. Watch this.
Bob Mueller, looking into Trump's business dealings before 2016 to see if there was potential opportunity for exertion of influence by Russian, any kind of actors on their part. Fair point.
I think it's beyond his mandate. The mandate is what happened during the 2016 election in terms of collusion. In fact, I think that the indictment almost 2 weeks ago of the 13 Russian nationals and the 3 companies suggests there was no collusion. My sense would be, but I don't have all the facts, Bob, I love you, but let's just stay focused on what the issue is, and that's collusion in the campaign.
Starr went on to explain that while Mueller's investigation must remain narrowly focused, it's up to the Deputy Attorney General. He's right, Rod Rosenstein, who is overseeing this case to keep Mueller on task. Now, remember, this whole witch hunt was supposed to only be about Trump-Russia collusion. That evidence does not exist all of this time. Now, speaking of Russia, think about this. With all that talk, we have another major breaking news story tonight, and that's the Russian president, the bad actor, Vladimir Putin. Oh, that's right, the guy that Obama said wasn't a bad actor and tell Vladimir I'll have more flexibility after the election. Remember that guy? He's claiming he has brand new nuclear weapons that can penetrate America's defenses. Now, Putin made the announcement during a State of the Nation speech. He detailed how these new weapons literally include a nuclear-powered cruise missile and a new hypersonic missile and a nuclear-powered underwater drone. U.S. officials are casting a lot of doubt on Putin's comments, but saying that his new cruise missile is still in the test phase and has crashed a few times. Okay, and here's my point tonight. You have the liberal media and the Democrats totally obsessed over a conspiracy theory, Trump-Russia collusion, even though we have zero evidence. Putin, every single day, as we are doing this, is getting stronger. And the left and the media are literally playing right into Putin and Russia's hands. Now, Putin's entire goal, what is it? To sow political discord in America. And that's exactly what the left, that's exactly what the media are literally doing by going down the Russia collusion rabbit hole with no evidence. Then there's Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Remember Obama mocking Mitt Romney for daring to call Russia a threat and then ignored threats? Specific threats in 2014 from Devin Nunes and others on the House Intel Committee. And he told President Trump, stop whining about the election and election interference just days before the election. And Hillary Clinton stupidly, remember that silly reset button? She's going to reset relations with Russia. And then she helped approve giving Russia and Putin control of 20% of our uranium. And then she paid for the Russian dossier filled with Russian government lies. You know, so great job, media and Democrats. You've done a great job dividing the country and lying to the American people without evidence and pushing baseless conspiracy theories because you hate Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin's getting stronger. Now, we have more breaking news tonight. This story is outrageous. The Department of Justice is trying to determine if the mayor of Oakland, if she literally obstructed justice, warning criminal illegal immigrants about ICE raids. Now, this liberal mayor, well, she took to Twitter on Saturday and to alter illegal immigrants and warn them in the Oakland area that, hey, federal immigration authorities are preparing to conduct operations. Now, the acting head of ICE is blasting this mayor, saying that her stunt allowed about 800 criminal illegal immigrants to avoid arrest. And he also said this on Fox and Friends this morning. Let's take a look.
What she did is no better than a gang lookout yelling police when a police cruiser comes in the neighborhood, except she did it to the entire community. I mean, it's beyond the pale. I've been doing this for 34 years, and this is a whole new low to intentionally warn criminals that law enforcement's coming. Being a law enforcement officer is already dangerous enough, but to give the criminals a heads up that we're coming in the next 24 hours increases that risk, puts them, you're talking about, these are American heroes that strap a gun to their hip every day to defend this nation. And to tell the criminals we're coming the next 24 hours, it's just incredible.
Beyond incredible. The mayor of Oakland is literally aiding and abetting criminal illegal immigrants. And of course, she is defending her actions, writing on Twitter, not talking about the consequences. I don't regret sharing this information. It is Oakland's legal right to be a sanctuary city, and we have not broken any laws. We believe our community is safer when families stay together. Okay, they did break laws. We have laws on the books. It's pathetic. But what the mayor's not saying, and clearly, obviously doesn't realize or care, is that not only is she putting immigration authorities' lives at risk, she's doing the same thing for American citizens in her community. Now, ICE is saying all they're trying to do is get the bad people off the street. So guess what? If any of the criminal illegal immigrants that should have been detained commit a crime, then the blood will be on her hands. And literally, she will be responsible for whatever happens. She owns this. Now, we have a major update, too, tonight on the Florida school shooting. Fox News reporting the commanding officer, we are now confirming tonight, on the scene during Nicholas Cruz's rampage, literally ordered some of the first responder deputies to set up a perimeter instead of confronting and neutralizing this madman, this gunman. Now, this new piece of information is beyond stunning. Now, the Broward County Sheriff's Office policy for dealing with active shooter situations says first responders may go into a building to save lives without permission. The policy does not appear to mention anything about setting up a perimeter. If that's the case, then the question is, why did at least 4 Broward County Sheriff's deputies not rush into the school like the neighboring community Coral Gables officers did to save lives? Now, Fox News is also reporting that there were delays in allowing EMTs to go inside the school. Remember, we're talking about kids. These moments, precious seconds, save lives. And we also know that there were dozens of missed warning signs prior to the shooting by the FBI and the Broward County Sheriff's Office. This is one huge, massive, big government bureaucratic failure at every level. The government failed the people of Florida, and as we have been telling you, Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel is refusing to accept even an ounce of responsibility. And he's also saying that he likely will not release video of how deputies responded so that we, you, the American people, can see exactly what happened. Shameful, because a tragedy could have been prevented. All right, back to our top story. Joining us tonight, Fox News contributor Sarah Carter, Fox News contributor Jason Chavis, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Greg, it's your night. This released letter by Devin Nunes tonight, when you are now questioning whether or not the FBI not only followed protocols, but whether they broke the law. And we will have an answer. He's demanding one in 7 days.
There is a set of guidelines. It's a book. It's really the Bible for the FBI. They have to memorize it. It says what they can and cannot do. On the one hand, when it comes to a criminal investigation, they cannot open it unless they have articulable factual basis for it. They had none here, yet they opened the criminal probe of the Trump campaign. The second is, in a counterintelligence probe, they have to submit evidence for a surveillance warrant that is corroborated and verified. Again, it's in the dialogue.
Don't we know it was never verified?
That's right.
By the way, because in January, Jim Comey goes to Trump Tower and says it's salacious and it's not verified.
And
this is in October. This is months earlier. He's now admitting months later that it was never verified.
That's right.
And they used it.
And using it is a violation of at least 6 different felony statutes. You noted some that Devin Nunes has pointed out, which are the ones you and I have been talking about, plus a couple of others he mentions there. But clearly abuse of power, I think perjury, false and misleading statements, fraud, and conspiracy to commit fraud. So all of these are serious crimes punishable by 5, 10 years behind bars. And if you deceive a court and conceal evidence from a judge in order to spy on Americans, that is a whole set of crimes.
This is going to come due now. This is happening. They are in deep trouble. All right, Congressman, let me go to you, then I want to bring Sarah in. So we know that before the Nunes memo, where they waited till the very last day and hours before the deadline to release the information that then became the Nunes memo. We know that Rod Rosenstein went into Speaker Ryan's office and begged him, don't give the information that has been subpoenaed. Now I want to know, Rod Rosenstein, he has 7 days to explain this. And I suspect he's not going to want to answer again. And he's the guy that appointed Mueller. How should this be handled from a legal standpoint when you have separation of powers, when you have oversight authority, as you once did?
Yeah, no, look, Devin Nunes and Trey Gowdy and the crew is doing exactly the right thing. Give them 7 days, a very specific question, allow them to come up. I'm proud of the fact that Speaker Ryan is backing them and supporting. I would also encourage Devin Nunes to look at the security clearances of these people. Why do these people still have security clearances? You don't have a security clearance, you don't have a job. But these people, they are given great latitude, but the law and the guidance, as Greg pointed out, is very clear, and it looks as if it was clearly broken.
One of the things, Sarah, I want you to weigh in on all of this, but also add the point that Ken Starr made earlier, because this is an important point, and he was accused of the same thing, going beyond the mandate of what the special counsel is. I mean, literally every day I see and I believe, my gut, the special counsels, there's somebody in there that's leaking, because they don't like the fact that they're being covered and uncovered, in the sense that, look at the people that Robert Mueller hired. So when Ken Starr says it's beyond the mandate, how far beyond the mandate have we gone here?
I think we've gone extremely far beyond the mandate. And remember, Ken Starr also argued that he was told by Janet Reno to go after those perjury charges against then President Clinton. So his mandate was expanded, he said, by the Attorney General at that time. And I think that's important to note. So what we have to ask ourselves here is there's one specific question, and I just want to go back to Chairman Nunes' letter that says, what has the DOJ and the FBI done to bring these people, to investigate them or to bring charges against them? We want to know what's going on here. And then if you go to the special counsel and you see the expansive nature of this special counsel, and you now hear Adam Schiff is saying himself that, you know, basically he's saying there's no real evidence of collusion. It's all out there. It's speculative. I mean, we may never know.
It's out there. What is out there? Nobody can answer. Where is the collusion? What is it?
There is no collusion as of yet. There has been no proof whatsoever that President Trump's campaign.
Listen, if he doesn't have that answer and he says, oh, it's already out there, what is it? Somebody needs to ask him as he goes on 272 shows auditioning to be the next Rachel Maddow or Lawrence O'Donnell.
Well, there's going to be charges. I mean, I believe right now, Chairman Nunes, as well as Senator Grassley, are right over the target. You know, I keep hearing this over and over again. This is going to need to be investigated. There are going to be answers to these questions. I'm telling you, there will be answers to these questions. And remember, the Inspector General's report is coming out, Sean.
When?
And that is going to reveal a lot. And I think it's going to be very soon. It was supposed to be this month. I'm hearing that it could still possibly be this month. They may extend it into April, but we don't know yet.
We need it sooner than later. Greg.
Here is the problem. In order to bring these people to justice who appear to have committed a variety of crimes, you have to have the Department of Justice prosecutors.
Needs to ask him as he goes on 272 shows auditioning to be the next Rachel Maddow or Lawrence O'Donnell.
Well, there's going to be charges. I mean, I believe right now, Chairman Nunes, as well as Senator Grassley, are right over the target. You know, I keep hearing this over and over again. This is going to need to be investigated. There are going to be answers to these questions. I'm telling you, there will be answers to these questions. And remember, the Inspector General's report is coming out, Sean.
When?
And that is going to reveal a lot. And I think it's going to be very soon. It was supposed to be this month. I'm hearing that it could still possibly be this month. They may extend it into April, but we don't know yet.
We need it sooner than later. Greg.
Here is the problem. In order to bring these people to justice who appear to have committed a variety of crimes, you have to have the Department of Justice prosecutors investigate and bring the case. Jeff Sessions has shown no indication of doing this.
He's going to say the Inspector General's report comes out, then we get reports of possible crimes, then we then our DOJ lawyers will look at it, and then we'll have a special counsel.
They'll start
really.
All over. It's such a waste of time.
Don't we have enough evidence now that warrants an appointment of another special counsel to investigate the investigators, the FBI, and the DOJ?
And Congress asked for it last July, and Jeff Sessions has been utterly feckless in his responses.
Jason Chaffetz, should there be a second special counsel, and do we have to wait for the IG, then the DOJ attorney, and then maybe a special counsel? Is that when we know laws have been broken? We have irrefutable evidence at this point.
Look, you have an attorney general who's recused himself out of the very job. I've been saying for a few months, it's time for of doing this.
He's going to say the Inspector General's report comes out, then we get reports of possible crimes, then we then our DOJ lawyers will look at it, and then we'll have a special counsel.
They'll start
really.
All over. It's such a waste of time.
Don't we have enough evidence now that warrants an appointment of another special counsel to investigate the investigators, the FBI, and the DOJ?
And Congress asked for it last July, and Jeff Sessions has been utterly feckless in his responses.
Jason Chaffetz, should there be a second special counsel, and do we have to wait for the IG, then the DOJ attorney, and then maybe a special counsel? Is that when we know laws have been broken? We have irrefutable evidence at this point.
Look, you have an attorney general who's recused himself out of the very job. I've been saying for a few months, it's time for, I'm sorry, Jeff Sessions is a good, honorable person, but he's not up to the job. He doesn't have the guts to get what needs to be done. He's recused himself out of everything. You don't need a special counsel if you have an attorney general who can actually, move the ball forward and do what he's supposed to do and administer justice, but he's nowhere on this. So if you're going to keep the attorney general in place, then go get a second special counsel.
Jeff Sessions is not the Attorney General. He's the AG in name only. It is being run by other people.
Rod Rosenstein?
Largely Rod Rosenstein.
All right.
Sessions is kept in the dark, out of major decisions. He doesn't have a clue as to what's going on there. And I get that from people in the DOJ.
I do too. And so does Sarah. Yes. Sarah's shaking her head. I wish we had more time.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, Reince Priebus, also the great one, Mark Levin, will analyze all this new information. Stay with us as this news-breaking edition of Hannity continues.
This is really how the president makes decisions. He measures things out. He measures things out. He puts really smart people that might not agree with each other in the same room. But what I always tell people, focus on the results. Look at the results. Remember 4 things: federal judges in Gorsuch, ISIS, regulations, tax cuts, those 4 things. If you look at the results of what this president has accomplished, and you ignore the palace intrigue, ignore what the media wants to talk about every day that really doesn't matter.
You mean energy independence,
you really can't find a whole lot that hasn't been accomplished.
Look at the statistics today. What, a 49-year low? Unemployment issues. Here's what I want to ask you. So Adam Schiff
look at the Heritage Foundation.
He got 64%.
Look at the Heritage Foundation. I think the other day they said 64%
of his agenda.
And I would tell you, the Heritage Foundation they were no big pro-Trump organization when Donald Trump went down that escalator. So it's not like there are Trump cheerleaders out there making these numbers up. It's actually true.
Let me ask you this. Adam Schiff is a mission. I thought Meghan McCain destroyed him on The View. I didn't watch. We showed the clip.
She did.
And I give her all the credit in the world. She did a phenomenal job. Adam Schiff, it's all in the public arena now about Trump-Russia collusion. I'm like, is there any evidence? Have you ever seen anything? Because I haven't.
I've never seen anything. I've been told by high-ranking members of the FBI, as I've mentioned before, I won't get into it again, but they flat out told me that one of those articles, the original New York Times article that apparently won an award the other day for journalism, was overstated, untrue, and many other things about it. And these were people from the FBI that told me this. So, look, you know, I've never seen it. I know the president hates it, and he hates watching it. But I would just suggest as always, move forward.
Last question. Just because the president vents in a meeting as he's making a decision, I think I want to fire that person, what is the real process? Does he do it when he says it, or is it part of a process?
No, listen, there is a process. There was a process when I was there. It's the same process that was followed by Ronald Reagan and Bush 43. There's a principals committee where major decisions are brought through with all the principals of the White House, major departments, general counsels. They all come up to the president with a decision memo in hand, presented to the president for a decision. Now, there are some things, though, that the American people understand that the president at times gets tired of waiting on. If he knows what he's going to do about the issue in regard to, say, transgender in the military, he's going to make a decision. He's been talking about steel tariffs since the 1980s.
That's
I may not be a big fan of steel tariffs, but this is what President Trump's agenda is all about, and the staff is charged with executing the agenda of the president, and the agenda of the president is getting done, and it's working for the American economy.
All right, Ryan, it's always good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, when we come back, the great one on our top story, yes, the FBI could have committed crimes and broken protocol. The great one, Mark Levin, responds to all of that. That's straight ahead.
We, the people, are defined by the things we share and the ones we love. Who never stop wondering what we'll do or where we'll go next. We, the people, who are better together than we are alone, are unstoppable. Welcome to the entirely new expedition.
Have you ever seen something so beautiful that all you could say was, wow? Or walked on the world's best beach at a place that made you feel like you were in a dream, where family comes first and fun is measured one ride at a time. They're all about a good life. Where you're served like royalty, but treated like family. Beaches, Turks, and Caicos, where anything is possible because everything is included. Wow! Get up to 65% off. Call 1-800-BEACHES.
Each year, Sarah climbs 58,070 steps. That's the height of Mount Everest. Because each day she chooses to take the stairs, at work, at home, even on the escalator. That can be hard on her lower body. So now she does it with Dr. Scholl's orthotics, clinically proven to relieve and prevent foot, knee, or lower back pain by reducing the shock and stress that travel up her body with every step she takes. So keep on climbing, Sarah. You're killing it. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
SmartMouth Activated Mouthwash is clinically proven to neutralize smelly sulfur gas and keep it from coming back for 12 hours with each rinse. For truly clean breath that lasts 24 hours, you need to use SmartMouth Activated Mouthwash.
Dry mouth? Use SmartMouth with Moisture Lock technology. It's the only dry mouth rinse that relieves bad breath for 12 hours with only one use. Available at drugstores.
That says the Pfizer surveillance application for Carter Page, a campaign associate in the Trump administration for the Trump campaign, appears to be a clear violation of FBI rules for submitting evidence to the Pfizer court and may also violate criminal statutes. Mark Levin's legal foundation, the Landmark Legal Foundation, has also filed a motion. They're asking the Pfizer court to do something about the suspected abuses allegedly committed by the FBI and the DOJ. He's also the host, our new colleague. We're proud to have him, and that is Life Liberty Levin. We ought to call it the Great One. He's also the host of Levin TV, CRTV. Mark Levin. This Nunes memo that I have here, that the FBI could have committed crimes and that they broke protocol. Don't we already know when you don't tell a FISA judge in your initial application, subsequent renewal applications, that Hillary bought and paid for the dossier and it was never verified and the law specifically says to verify it? Don't we know that they violated a law? Mark Levin, constitutional scholar.
You know, Sean Hannity, let me tell you something. The judges on this FISA court so far have gotten away without being scrutinized. If you're a federal judge, forget about the FISA court, a federal district judge, appellate court, the Supreme Court, and you know as a matter of fact that you were misled, and I want everyone to listen to this, and you know as a matter of fact that the information that was provided to you or the information that wasn't provided for full context led you to issue a warrant to spy on an American citizen under the idea that the American citizen was an agent of Russia who was likely to commit a crime. And by the way, that citizen, Carter Page, last time I checked, he hasn't been charged with anything. If you're a judge, and we've had successive judges in this FISA court over a period of 1 year, and you don't do something about it, Congress needs to look into this. I do not expect the Department of Justice to investigate the Department of Justice. I just don't. I don't expect the FBI to investigate the FBI, but I damn well expect federal judges serving as FISA court judges to make sure that conduct wasn't committed in front of them. Now, let me tell you something. Last April, Landmark Legal Foundation filed secretly with the FISA court because we don't have any standing. Nobody has standing. Nobody really knows how this works. And we said to the court, hey judge, guess what? Guess what just took place in your courtroom? Here's what we said. You have the inherent jurisdiction to order an investigation of the FBI to get answers to this. Number one, last April, have this court's order or orders been used by intelligence and law enforcement entities of the federal government as a subterfuge to surveil private citizens and at least one United States senator, we were thinking of Sessions at the time, for political purposes? Number two, did government officials seek one or more national security surveillance warrants from this court as a pretext to conduct an investigation for the purpose of affecting an ongoing national presidential campaign and subsequent transition of an incoming president? This is last April. Number three, when applying to this court for one or more warrants in this matter, did the FBI inform this court that it had apparently paid some of the expenses of a former British spy who prepared the dossier, reportedly relied on in whole or part, in its application to convince this court to issue a warrant? Number four, when applying to this court, this is us to the judge, for one or more warrants in this matter, did the FBI inform this court that the dossier it reportedly presented in pursuit of one or more warrants had originally been prepared by the former British spy for a Washington research firm conducting opposition research against the Republican nominee for President of the United States, Donald J. Trump? This is important. Landmark Legal Foundation respectfully requests the court, the judge, the FISA judge, sitting in banc by herself, that she should direct the government to complete its investigation and report its findings to the court within 90 days. The court should also consider whether it's appropriate to issue an order to all relevant federal law enforcement and intelligence agencies to show cause as to why they should not be held in contempt for failing to protect the secrecy of classified information obtained pursuant to the court orders. Now, do you know what the judge said in response to us, the FISA court judge? I want you to listen to this. April 25, 2017. This is Rosemary Collyer, the presiding judge. Keep in mind, the judges on the FISA court are picked by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. These are district court judges for the most part. So they're existing federal court judges. She wrote in this little order, the court has received a pleading titled Motion for Leave to Appear as Amicus Curiae, on and on and on, us, Landmark, on April 20th.
Explain that.
5 days later, she says, although presented as a request to appear, there is no matter pending before the court with respect to which such an appearance would be proper. Now listen to me. This warrant was extended 3 times. That matter was still appearing before this court. That's number one. Number two, the court has ongoing jurisdiction to supervise the conduct of attorneys the FBI, the Justice Department, before the court. Contempt may reach backwards, even after a case has been concluded. In other words, this FISA judge, and quite frankly, was misdirecting when she said the matter's not before us anymore, when it was still before them, and this court, like any federal court, still has the power to reach back and hold people accountable. She did nothing. She did not call in the FBI, as far as we know. She did not call in the Justice Department. She did not ask for answers. She did not ask for an investigation. She didn't hold a contempt hearing. Nothing. You know what that tells me? Something smells like a rat, which means this.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
This is all great information. Mark, this is how I see this. Remember the Grassley-Graham memo? Huge news. They said the bulk of the FISA application consisted of what we now know to be unverified information. Fusion GPS, co-founder Glenn Simpson never verified it. The FBI never verified it. The Deputy FBI Director, Andrew McCabe, literally said, no dossier, not even an application. You're right. It's renewed every 90 days. So if you have an opposition party candidate using unverified Russian lies in the lead up and then post-election to undermine a president, and what we know as of now is none of it is true, is this, based on your knowledge of history, at least the biggest abuse of power and corruption in your lifetime? Because to me, this is Watergate. Are you kidding? This is Watergate times 1,000 to me.
When you and I spoke way back in March of last year, and we laid this out, we were called kooks, conspiracy theorists, almost everything we've said, and we didn't have a lot. We were pulling it together. And I was focused specifically on the FISA court because there were leaks about the FISA court. But I want to underscore something tonight, Sean, and it is this. These federal judges sitting on this FISA court act like they have no role in this.
Baloney.
They were abused. The court was abused. The court was misled. People should be held to account. They read the newspapers now. They watch television now. We presented this judge with the evidence and filed it.
Last thing.
Congress needs to find out now why these judges, even today, aren't holding these people accountable.
Comey said to Trump in January of 2017 at Trump Tower, oh, it's salacious and it's unverified. The FISA application, the first one, was 3 months earlier. He, by his own words, is admitting he violated, as Greg Jarrett said earlier, as many as 6 laws. These are felonies, Mark. You don't lie before a judge, nor do you present, especially when it comes to the Constitution.
I'm talking about a court needs to protect itself.
Agreed.
Any federal court in America. Yep. If somebody lies to a court, omits material facts to a court, information is not presented to the court, a court is misled. Federal judges every day, they hold people to account. These judges in the FISA court have not. Let me just say this quickly.
Last word.
It's time to abolish the FISA court. It's time to create a new FISA, a counterintelligence-related court. It should not consist of existing federal judges. They should be confirmed, not for life terms, for given terms. The FBI and the Justice Department, when they go into that court, should not be alone anymore. There ought to be an office within the federal government that's there to ensure that civil liberties are protected. There are things we need to do with this court right now.
Who's on your Life, Liberty, Levin, Sunday nights, 10 Eastern? Who's your guest this weekend?
We have a full hour with Chairman Nunes, and we go over everything soup to nuts, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular, so I hope everybody watches.
I love Walter Williams this past weekend. Great opening show.
Thank you.
#1 in the ratings. Awesome job. All right, great one. Good to see you. Thank you. When we come back, Tommy Lahren, you don't want to miss this. We're going to get into this Oakland mayor. This is unbelievable, putting people's lives at risk. Law enforcement, straight ahead.
Need deep, long-lasting pain relief?
Since beforehand that ICE agents, law enforcement raids were targeting illegal immigrants. Joining us now, Fox News contributor Tommy Lahren, and from Catalina Magazine, the publisher, Kathy Aru is with us. Do you believe in the rule of law, Kathy?
Of course I do, yes.
Okay, and federal law says that you're not allowed to enter the country illegally.
Right.
Okay, and for especially in the case of those that are criminal aliens that we know committed crimes, do you think it's a good thing that the Oakland mayor, that she warns criminal aliens in some cases, oh, ICE is coming. I want to aid and abet you and help you break the law.
I wouldn't say she was warning criminal aliens. I mean,
she warned them. ICE is coming.
I wouldn't call them criminals or aliens. I would say they were undocumented immigrants, letting them know
forget the word Smith.
Tax-paying family members,
illegal immigrants,
hard workers
did they break the law?
Community.
Did they break the law?
What? They're
when they
working
entered the
in our country. They're paying taxes. They're not breaking laws.
This is not that hard. When they entered the country illegally, by not going through the normal process, is that illegal? Yes or yes or no?
I'm not saying they entered illegally. They may have had a work visa when they were here. They may have been invited in by a company and then decided to stay.
What about the people we know that are here illegally? You're being stubborn. Now, let's be honest.
Not at all. Not at all.
You do admit there are people that enter this country illegally.
Some people enter this country to
illegally,
work, and people hire them.
Is that illegal?
It may be frowned upon, but I would say they're undocumented. Undocumented.
You know what? No wonder. This is the party of it all. All depends on the meaning of the word is, Tommy. I can't handle this. It's obviously illegal. The thing that bothers me, Tommy, that mayor is putting law enforcement lives in jeopardy by giving them a heads up.
How?
Sean, not only law enforcement lives, but American lives. Residents of Oakland, their lives are on the line. The Democrats talk time and time again about they don't want to break up families. Well, I would ask them, what about the families of Kate Steinle and Jamil Shaw II, killed by illegal immigrants? What about those families? Do those families matter? You're putting a lot of lives on the line. And this mayor, if one of those illegal immigrants then goes out and harms someone or, God forbid, kills someone, she has blood on her hands, so I hope she sleeps well at night.
Kathy, answer Tommy's great
gone down. Violent crime has gone down. Thanks to this mayor.
Answer the question about Kate Steinle.
Well, there are so many people who have died at the hands of non-Hispanic white men in this country.
Okay.
So let's deport all white men.
Okay.
I mean,
would Kate Steinle be alive if there wasn't an illegal immigrant that we knew was in the country and could have?
Would millions of people be alive if we didn't have white men that were committing these mass murders in this country?
Tommy,
so let's deport men. Let's deport men.
Tommy.
Wait. Illegal immigrants have no legal right to be here. And now you're changing the argument that we should deport white men, white American men, because they commit crimes. Let's talk about this. Illegal immigrants have no legal right to be here. They have no legal right to be here. They've already broken the law.
They're contributing to their communities. They pay taxes, they're contributing to the community.
What happens when one of these individuals doesn't contribute to their community? What happens if they harm or kill someone?
There's always a bad apple in a group. There's always a bad apple. So let's get rid of every contributor in our community, every person that's with the family, helping their children, every hard worker, because of one bad apple.
My blood pressure, Tommy, help me.
Laws matter.
All right, laws matter.
And the mayor knows her city. The mayor knows her city.
Checkmate Tommy Lahren on this one. Condi Rice confronted Adam Schiff on The View today. We've got that video and the Hannity hotline straight ahead.